All right, so we're going to make some breakfast wraps here. I like to make them sometimes for dinner. Sometimes I'll eat them for breakfast, depends on the day. If I'm having a really hard day where I'm doing work and working out and everything else. But sometimes I'll have them for dinner too. Same thing if I've worked, and I'm doing a workout after dinner, that kind of deal. So I'm going to try and make them a little healthier than your regular breakfast burritos. So we're going to start with some eggs, some egg life wraps, or you can use the keto wraps, up to you. We got some chilies, some green chilies, onion, garlic, cheese, choice, some chorizo, some bacon. You can also use turkey bacon if you want to make it even lower fat, and Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Now let's do this. So when using the chorizo, if you can find it without the like the sausage wrapping on it, go for it. Otherwise, just peel off the wrapping and just throw it in the pan, and then break it up into small chunks. That's usually what I do. It's harder to find the chorizo around my area, so I just do what I can. You can also use ground turkey or ground chicken if you prefer to make it a little healthier and just add maybe some taco spice. But for me, I find, I get rid of the grease, and it tastes way better. And that's the thing, right? I mean, you don't want to eat something. It's hard to eat a regular healthy lifestyle when you're not putting in all the good ingredients, right? It's hard to stick to something. So you want to stick with a long-term plan, and we always want something that's like a cheat meal. And the best way to do that, like I said, is to go ahead and do it the way it's supposed to be, to a certain degree, and make little changes that aren't going to make a big difference in your meal. So we're going to cook that for a few minutes, and wait till it's brown. We're going to get the bacon on. So now we're going to get the bacon going. We're going to get, since the wraps are fairly small, I usually use about a half of one. If you were to use a bigger wrap, if you can get the bigger wraps, I use about one slice of bacon per wrap. You can also make some of these ahead and freeze them. They actually freeze pretty well, which is amazing. Gotta love that. So it's up to you how you want to cook your bacon. Oh, looks like I plugged in my toaster instead of the air fryer. I don't know about you guys. I like to leave all my appliances unplugged. They say that it's actually very dangerous, especially toasters, to leave them plugged in. And I actually had to replace my kettle because it wasn't shutting off. So always be cautious with your appliances. So I'm going to put that on in the air fryer for about 10 minutes to see how it goes. Sometimes it takes longer, sometimes it takes less time. But while we're doing that, we are going to first start with chopping our onions and garlic and adding that to the pan of chorizo, and then we are going to shred our cheese. I like to dice these up. I'm going to save some of the onion for the eggs, and I'm going to put some here in the chorizo. Add some of that. Mix that in, and then we are going to use, it looks like I lost the garlic. Oh, there it goes. I threw it in with the onion. Make sure you either mince your garlic or use like a little mincer thing like this to get it very small. You don't want to put in whole cloves like I just about did because I wasn't paying attention. This little gadget, like I've said in other videos, I mean, I use this thing all the time. It was a cheap find on Amazon. It saves so much time, just amazing. So from there, like I said, we're going to go into, actually we're just going to break that up. Keep breaking it up into small little chunks as best as you can. You don't want big chunks in there, and we don't use a lot of it in there, but you definitely want to add it in for flavor. If anything, you actually want to add more egg. Eggs definitely is a healthier hard option. So this isn't something I eat every day by any means, or even once a week, but it is a nice little treat here and there. And like I said, it is definitely a healthier option than going to a restaurant and buying a burrito. It's also cheaper to make. You can make lots in advance, and like I said, throw them in your freezer if you want a quick dinner one day, especially if you're by yourself or just one or two of you. And you just want to have something quick. You plug it out of the freezer, and you can thaw it out in your microwave or whatever. You can then after that fry it in the frying pan or put it in the oven with a bit of olive oil or in the air fryer. Totally up to you. And even with cheese, you don't want to add a whole lot of cheese, but you don't want to omit it either. If you like the fat-free cheese, like or higher protein cheese like this, you can add that, but really add a stronger flavor of cheese so that you don't have to add a lot of extra calories. That's the trick. All right, so we're gonna keep making sure that this doesn't stick, doesn't burn. Pretty much cooked now, so we're gonna set that aside. We're actually gonna put that in our wraps because I'm gonna reuse the same pan. Okay, now we're gonna add eggs. So I like to add about 5 eggs, and I like to add egg whites, just so that you get the goodness of the eggs, but without all the cholesterol and all the everything else. So you get a higher protein, but you get the health of the egg as well, because the egg yolk is definitely a healthy thing, but you don't want to overdo it. And try not to get too many shells in there. All right, one more, and then we are going to add, like I said, the whites. Add some white, give those a good shake. Add some of those in, and then we are going to add in, after we scramble these up, we are going to add in our onion. And then we are going to add the chili peppers, the green chilies. You can get those in any area in where they sell Mexican foods and stuff. I use these for quite a few different things. I use them when I make my chimichangas, which I will make a recipe for one of these days for you. Those are also one of my favorites. I love Mexican food for anybody who doesn't know me. And I like it so much, and I know that a lot of times it's not exactly as healthy as we like it to be, so I've learned how to make it healthier and still taste absolutely delicious, because that's the thing. I love food. We all love food, right? If it doesn't taste good, you're not going to want to eat it long term. So you've got to make sure that what you're making is still quality. That's so freaking important. So, I'm making a mess of my stuff. I'm going to have to clean that up. And like I said, we are going to move on to putting the chorizo into the wraps. And while we're still waiting for the bacon, then we're going to cook the eggs and throw it all together. So, to put them together, we're going to start by so I've got one of the egg wraps here, and I've got one of the keto wraps here. I'm just going to make a couple just to show you. I'm not going to put you through the torture of watching me make them all. But basically, you put some Greek yogurt or sour cream if you really can tell the difference. I can't personally tell the difference. It's something I've switched over years ago for the most part. I like to use the Greek yogurt. And then you add a little bit of your meat mixture. Just a little bit like that. Then we're going to wait for the cheese, the bacon, and the egg. We're going to add those next. But first I'm going to cook up the eggs. Alright, so now we are going to add some extra virgin olive oil to our frying pan. Heat that up a little bit. And we are going to scramble up our eggs. Like I said, we got our peppers, our onions. Oh, that egg didn't smush very good. Sure that we get that all scrambled up. Like I said, I can make a lot extras. I'm just showing you a few just to see how it's done. These things are absolutely delicious. They are seriously one of my family's favorites, hands down. And I like the fact that you can make them healthier by just choosing different options, adding egg whites, adding vegetables to it, changing your wraps, changing sour cream to Greek yogurt. Like, there's always these little things that you can do to change up basically any meal that you want to make from a little bit unhealthy to healthier, right? You can always change that up. And that's the biggest trick to a lean body and healthy body is the best way to change your diet is something you can stick with long term. And the best way to stick long term is by changing the ingredients you're using. Okay, so while we're waiting on those eggs, I'm going to get this bacon out of here. I like to overcook my bacon just a little bit. You don't have to if you don't like to. I prefer to. I find I get more of the grease out of it. And then I like to put it on a paper towel and just kind of get any of the excess grease taken right off of it. So from there, we are just going to let it cool down a little bit before we start breaking it down and putting it onto our burritos. while we're doing that, we're just gonna scramble up these eggs. These eggs are actually delicious just like that. You can even add these actually into like a lettuce wrap if you like. I've done that. I prefer using real wraps, especially the egg wraps, because I mean, they're just made of egg whites and they're like super healthy. And I mean, yeah, it's a lot of egg, but it's a lot of protein too. And a lot of protein goes a long way and it still tastes good. And like I said, a big part of me is, you know, I like the taste, but I also like the keto wraps. The keto wraps are pretty good too because they're pretty high in fiber. And fiber is super important in your diet as well. So it's up to you what you prefer, you know. I mean, and heck, if you're wanting a real out splurge, just go for a regular wrap, but just, you know, make sure that, and that's with any meal. Stop when you're full. Don't keep going just because it's tasty. That's the worst thing you can do. All right, now to finish putting these together. So we are going to take a slice of bacon. We are going to just break up a little bit. You don't need, like I said, a whole lot, just enough so that it gives enough flavor. Ooh, hot, hot. And they're so simple to put together, really. The hardest part is, honestly, is wrapping them. I'm not the best at that. It's funny because my whole family can wrap them way better than I can. But hey, it is what it is, right? And of course, give a little piece to each of the beggars. Got my side crew here with me. We are going to add in some egg. These are smaller wraps, so you can only add so much egg to the wraps and still be able to fold them over. And that's my biggest problem, is I like to overfill them. At least that's what I'm told. But you know what? I mean, you want to make sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck, right? And then, like I said, you don't need a lot of cheese, just a little bit in there, just to, you know, add the flavor, right? And if it's, the stronger the cheese, the better it is for you. So then you're just going to basically wrap those up. I like to fold them. Like I said, I like to overfill them. But yeah, you wrap them up, throw them in your air fryer or on a pan for your oven or whatever. You can also cook them in the frying pan with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. But either way, these wraps, they actually hold pretty good. Both the keto and the egg wraps. I mean, they're pretty good at holding together. Throw those in there like that. Then we're gonna spray them with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Don't unroll on me. And then we are gonna throw them back in the air fryer just for a few minutes, just to get that nice crisp warmth on, and they'll be ready to go. All right, those should be ready to go. We are going to get them out of the air fryer. Oh, without burning myself. That's the hardest part. And try not to unravel them, because sometimes they stick, especially if you don't always get the bottom half done properly. Like I said, they don't need a lot of cooking. These were on for roughly just a little over 3 minutes, so 3 minutes, 15 seconds. And so I just like to brown them a little bit. And then, here, we'll try this one with the egg wrap. So good, so good. You gotta try this. You can even add a bit of salsa if you like too.